Oh, all right, Tim. Did you hear about the exciting announcement? We're getting NXT UKTO BPII.
Adam, now I know I'm a nerd at heart, but I don't speak it or that Doctor Who type language, whatever you're talking about. And I'm pretty sure the four people who listen to this podcast don't either. So you're gonna have to translate. What is it called? Judin, or what is
You
it?
mean Jadoon?
Judun, yeah.
No,
You're gonna
no,
translate that.
I wasn't speaking that. No, it's the NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2. No, it was announced, man.
You could have just said that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of As the Buckle Turns. I'm Adam.
I'm Tim.
And this week we gotta, I'm gonna be real honest. You guys have probably seen that over the last, couple of months or so. Sometimes I don't watch a pay-per-view at all. And we still talk about them because at that point we've read reviews and other people have watched it enough that we're like, okay, yeah, we can talk about this. But this week I fully watched Full Gear.
Wait, you watched a non-WWE pay-per-view? You
Well, yes.
sell out. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, Adam. I had a moment there. I fell back into the old trap. I forgot. I don't give a shit about WWE anymore.
There you go.
I actually have watched only the first two matches of there. I've been trying to get to it, but this week has been murder.
I'm sorry about that.
So I'll hopefully finish it this weekend. But no, from what I've heard, it's a good show.
Good.
We just completely disagree about the closing matchup. On why it's there, but it is what it is.
I've been picking up the story in one way, and you've been seeing the story another, and that's where we disagree.
I was waiting for you to say and you've been missing the part out on the story at places, so we disagree.
Yes, you don't know the complete story, man. You're not reading all of it.
But no, so we'll be going over that before we start there. Adam, I gotta do it.
What?
And there is the new predictions champion. You.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm glad. I'm really glad that I predicted correctly.
Once again, though, you didn't win based on predictions. We tied on the predictions again. The questions is what you won it on. And you know what the funny thing is? If there was more super kicks in the Young Bucks matchup where I won that, we would have tied on that too.
Well, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. A win is a win.
Well, the fact that when you've won this year, I swear every single time you won, it was based on the questions, not actually winning predictions.
Oh, totally.
Except for, I think, All Out. I think you won All Out based on actual predictions.
Yeah, most of the time when I win, it's by default.
You just happen when you retain. I don't know when you won it the first time this year, but every time you retained it by default because we tied.
Yeah. And
by the questions, it was just like, wow.
I've been hanging on to that title for way longer than I really. If this was truly matches, win-loss, everyone would be booing me by now because they'd be like, seriously, he won again because, really, it would be the way I want to look at it. AEW with the judges at ringside. Every time the judges are like, you know what? We're going to give it to Adam? And you're like, why? And I was like, well, because he likes us. You're like, fuck you guys. This is why I hate you.
He's been nice to us. Well, fuck you. This is why I don't like you guys.
You guys keep screwing me over, and that's why I don't like you guys. If you started liking us, maybe we'd help you out.
I realized that I gotta figure out a way for these questions to actually make it so that they will be actually tiebreakers. So when we have 3 questions, they will actually break the tie.
Yeah.
Not if you get 2 of them right, I get 1 right, and if I happen to get the other one right and you get the other one wrong, we tied again.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh man, I gotta figure that tiebreaker out. But overall, we'll get to there in a second. We do have to go through some news. Adam, what's on the docket?
We do have. You let me know that NXT UK has their Takeover Blackpool 2 coming up. When was that again?
January 11th.
January 11th. Any announcement on who's on the card yet?
No, from what I saw on Wrestling Inc., it was just announced.
Well, I can
night.
let you know right now. Walter will be on the card.
Yes. And he's probably gonna win because WWE botched his main roster match this past week.
Yeah.
By having him lose twice.
No, who did he lose twice to? Who did he lose to?
Seth Rollins.
Okay.
And a bunch of random baby faces who ran down to help him out.
I would have rather, if there's somebody I can see giving him a good fight for a loss, one of those that it's like, all right, kid, basically all right, kid, you got gumption but remember, much like the way Cesaro was with why am I not remembering his name right now? Over at NXT UK Takeover Cardiff.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Where it was just like, all right, kid, you're good, but you're still not at my level.
Yeah.
But I feel for Walter, that person truly should be Rusev.
Yeah. But you're never going to see that because Rusev is a joke right now.
Oh, totally.
And
at the same time, I gotta say, Rusev himself and Lana once again are taking an absolute shit storyline and acting they're acting the fuck out of it. They're just like, no, You know what? We're gonna show that we can take every piece of shit that's given to us right now, and we're gonna elevate it. We're gonna be like, no. We know this storyline is absolutely crap and everyone hates it. But we ourselves are going to play the role in here so well. I'm sorry, Bobby Lashley, you're not on our level.
You know what the funny thing is about that storyline? It loses massive ratings during those segments.
Oh, yeah.
But on YouTube, it's like this last week's was like one of the highest clips of their channel.
It's because people are like, hey, you want to laugh at this?
No, I don't think it is. I think there's a bunch of people from the Attitude Era who still want that sexualized gimmick element that was in the Attitude Era, and this is as close as they get. So the people who are watching it tune out, but those people they tune out, but they watch it on YouTube because it's like they don't want to admit that they want to watch it.
I don't know. Because I'm looking at it as well, that I really do feel that the YouTube crowd is, well, slightly younger. But they're looking at it going, oh, hey, an hour or so later. Because WWE will have stuff up within the hour of it happening.
This is I think they said it was this way, the most rated clip the next day.
Yeah.
Of views or something like that.
Which means that enough word had gotten out there about how terrible this was. And just it started to snowball after that. It was like, all right, I got to see it. And then, oh, man, you guys got to see this.
It's possible, but I don't think it's that. I think it's a bunch of people who they want to watch it because they want that element in wrestling again. And they're watching the clip. I do think that a good portion of the numbers are people who are like, hey, you want to see something to laugh at? Look at this.
I mean,
But I do think a good portion of people are like, no, I miss that from the Attitude Era. I miss bra and panties matches.
oh god, that's just it's not gonna happen.
No.
I mean, at the same time though, you got to remember that horrible "This Is Your Life" segment. That also was relatively high, that was highly watched on YouTube as well.
Yep.
But that was morbid curiosity at that point.
I think it was more of like, it can't be as bad as people are saying it is.
They watch it and they're like, "Oh my god, even edited, it's terrible."
Yeah. But like we said, like last week we mentioned this was like, bra and panties. It had its time frame.
Yep.
In wrestling, it doesn't have a place in today's wrestling. It doesn't. If you're gonna do like Scarlett Bordeaux, I think is how you say her name, who's in NXT now, who actually made a cameo on NXT this past week in the background, just asking someone if they're okay. Her whole gimmick is that she is a sexualized up diva.
Yes,
and that's what.
That's her gimmick.
That's what she has chosen as her gimmick, though. It's not like Vince in the back who wants Emmalina to be that, and Emma has no interest in that whatsoever.
Right.
So that's a big difference from that. And from what I've heard, though, like Scarlett Bordeaux, like she has that gimmick, but she doesn't wrestle like a diva. She wrestles like a wrestler.
Cool.
So it's like taking that kind of gimmick, but then being able to actually go in the ring. I haven't seen her stuff, so I could be wrong on this, but I've heard some good things about her matches.
All right.
So, but that's the difference, though. She's choosing to do that versus saying, here's the women's division. It's bra and panties, swimsuit contests, and lingerie matches.
Yeah, that doesn't work in today's society at all.
No. It like I said, it had a time in wrestling.
Yeah, and it'll always be there.
And the thing is, if it wasn't for those times, those kind of things, I don't think we would have women's wrestling where it is, where people say no. Because if you look at the people who are doing those kind of matches, Trish Stratus, Lita, Chyna, they could wrestle. But they had a lot of those other matches. Now we got to the point, because we saw that, no, there are women who can wrestle. No, we just want to see them actually go now. Which is what Impact TNA gave us. Right. Until they ruined their women's division. And it's only now starting to be revitalized.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see going forward. But yes, that's my take on the whole situation. But yes, but yeah, it will be interesting to see what Blackpool takeover looks like. This past January's Blackpool, the first one, was an excellent show.
I almost forgot where we started with to get to that point.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what that takeover looks like.
Yeah.
What else do we have on the docket?
WWE might be actually allowing the release of wrestlers.
What?
Maybe. Kind of.
Revival to AEW confirmed.
Yeah, right. That's not happening.
Well, they just, you know what the funny thing is? Before we go on to that tad bit, because we know the Revival will not be anyone, if they do start releasing people, they will not be one of them.
Yeah.
I think it was Scott Dawkins. His tweet, he said, like, fuck money. In the past 2 weeks, like in the last 3 months, I've only spent like 2 or 3 days a month with my loved ones. I don't care about money or something like that, where it's when you realize what truly matters. And then his tag partner responded, fuck money, love having with that. And they basically took and made it their profile picture.
Oh, that's
on
awesome.
Twitter. Replacing the shot of their opponents, their card match at Survivor Series, all three teams of the tag champions that they're no longer tag champions, so they're no longer in that match at Survivor Series.
So wait,
so
they had a tag team title shot.
No. This was the SmackDown tag titles, the NXT tag team champions, and the Raw tag team champions all facing off at Survivor Series.
Okay.
Because it's brand warfare. They lost the belts, the SmackDown belts. They were originally in that matchup until
So
they
they're
lost
out
to
of
New
that
Day.
match.
Yeah, so they're now out of the match. Kofi and Big E are in that match.
Oh, yes.
So, but it'll be interesting to see because, like, they are going to be, like, it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be, like, once their contract is up, they're going to be out there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see if they get a major push, a bigger push, come near, like, January, February, to see if WWE can convince them to re-sign new contracts. They're not going to be like Randy Orton. They're going to learn from Mike Kanellis' mistake.
Yeah.
You sign, you get a 3-week push, then you're going to get buried.
Well, I mean, you don't see that happening to Randy Orton. Orton re-signed because it's easy for it. I mean, at this point in his career, it's easy for him. He's like, oh, I have so many dates per year. I get paid this much money, and I get this much time at home. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. So, but like, so he's not worried about that. But like, people like Kanellis's.
Right.
If Luke Harper resigns, they'd get a 3-week push and then buried.
Right.
So, but this going back to the whole story of this release, this is coming out of the idea that Sin Cara this past weekend posted that he asked for his release, and he posted on Twitter, and that he doesn't want to go to AEW. He actually wants to go work with his friend Alberto Del Rio. I can't remember where he goes. It's Alberto Patron.
Alberto El Patron.
Patron, yes. Over at MMA America, Combat America, whatever it's called.
Something like that.
So it's not like he's going to competition or anything like that, so he wants out. And people are saying he's probably not going to get it because no one's releasing it. But the article I just read today on Wrestling Inc. says that no, they're actually going back in the back. They're actually considering starting to release some people who want to go. Or
think about it. They have a gluttony of people that they're paying to basically not do anything at this point. And some of those people are not necessarily going to enhance the competition in any way.
Yeah. Well, a good example of this was, like, we've used this example before, and Wrestle Talk likes to use it, and they actually just used it in a piece on Jordan Miles, which we're not going to go back into that.
Nah, not right now.
But they said, like, they talked about how, like, Jim Ross brought up a guy who's in his 30s who would be great for their roster, great to work with a younger talent and all that. And one of the, like, Cody, Kenny, Young Bucks, one of them was like, oh yeah, he's off limits. He just re-signed for 5 years for $500,000 a year, and he's not even on TV. They locked him in to keep him away from the competition.
Wow.
Good move on that guy, but, like,
I mean, it's one of those that you're like, I get paid this much, and my job is basically to show up at the Performance Center once a month. Okay, I can do that.
Or to come to TV, no, I'm probably not going to be used, and then go home, but I'm still getting paid.
Yeah, and I'm only going to be doing 3 days a week. Okay.
So that's the issue. Like, they have so many people. They're just signed to new deals so they can't go to competition where they may become bigger stars, and that's a bad thing. But so what the story is, going backstage, is they're looking at they might release some people who won't be going to AEW, or if they did, they won't help AEW.
Right.
See, the funny thing is, Jericho just stated that AEW is closed for hiring right now. They have
a good amount of people.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a few people, like when the Revival leave,
Right.
when their contract is up and they're out, there's going to magically be a spot. There's going to be a spot for them in AEW. Like,
I see that being one of those things where they will probably have they'll probably use my method where you're rotating stars in and out.
yeah.
You're like, okay, you're going to be here for this set period of time. You're going to be at these shows. This is the storyline. And then we're going to give you 2 weeks off right after that. And it's truly 2 weeks off. They're like, nope, go home and hang out for 2 weeks. Then we're going to bring you back on TV that week, the week after that. And then you get another 2 weeks off. Go spend it with your family. Have a great time. And then we'll see you the following Wednesday. And then Saturday.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about it. But like the Revival, I think like when they leave and AEW offers them a contract and they take it, there'll be a spot available.
Yeah.
But like they're not going to be looking to hire anyone who just comes out of WWE because they're building their talent all right. They have to build the talent they have.
Right.
And this is bringing in someone who's a loser, let's be honest, in WWE and have to build them up too. No. The only people that they're going to bring in is someone they don't have to build up. That people recognize they can bring in, and that alone will just be they're recognized. They're known, they're good, and forward. So it'll be interesting to see who actually gets to release. Because like at this point right now, I think Mike Kanellis could get his release. Because he would not enhance AEW. I think once he got on TV and showed what he can really do, he would. But it would take time to build him back up.
Yes.
Whereas when he came to WWE, he was a big name on the indie scene. He was known for what he could do. But WWE basically destroyed that.
Yeah. I feel the same way. You know, Sean Spears. Sean Spears is a great example. Luckily, he had enough people immediately get behind him after one appearance that he was able to be the bigger star with AEW than he ever could be with WWE.
See, the thing with Sean Spears, though, I think what worked in his favor was he got injured soon after coming up to the main roster, where he didn't appear a lot, but when he did, they did use him somewhat good, but then he got injured again, and they didn't have time to destroy him.
True.
Being on there for like 2 or 3 years of not using him or just having him job out all the time. Where people still remembered him from NXT and how good he is.
Yeah.
And then by bringing him into Double or Nothing, it worked out. Like he instantly went after Cody. News buzz.
Yep.
His match with Cody, good matchup. Again, I still think the booking Spears should have gone over, but that's again, it's just my opinion. He came out still looking good,
Right.
so it'll be interesting to see how like forward like that, but he was kind of on that case where like if it was today he got like released, I don't think they would have brought him in right away. I would have been like, go on the indie scenes for the next few 5 or 6 months. Build yourself back up, and then we'll bring you in because we need you to. We don't have the time to build you up ourselves because we have so much other talent we have to build up. Build yourself up. We'll bring you in, and we'll get you a big spot once you get in here because we know, and the fans know, but we need that time. You need to build that stuff up on your own. And I don't think you'd have an issue with that, but because he came in when it happened when it did, it worked out.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see again, like I said, who gets released if they start releasing some people. And they really should.
Do you see anybody on the roster that could come over to AEW but not be a burden on a build-up? That could that WWE could look at and go, they're going to be nothing. They wouldn't even get picked up by them. Whatever.
No, I think there's enough people. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. But again, they have so much talent, you forget who's actually still signed with them.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe next week, if I think of it, I'll go through their roster on Wikipedia at least and see who's on there and see if I can think of any. But personally, I think is anyone they brought in, I think for the most part, if they signed them, Cody, Kenny, the Young Bucks, or Tony Khan will have seen something enough of their work where they're like, we need to, it's going to take some time to build them, but they're going to help us out. But that's the thing, though. I just don't think right now, they can afford to build one more person as much these people who WWE will release.
Yeah.
If they do release them. Because they had to build up people. They're still building up Jungle Boy.
Yeah, that's true.
They're still building up MJF. They're building these other people up. And they need that. They got to focus on people who've already been with the company since the signing of last year or recently. And so they got to focus on those people to build them up. And just one more person who was a WWE reject, which will come off as, oh, look, another WWE reject has signed with the company.
That's
what
true.
Jack Hager had when he came over. Another WWE reject. You mean the guy who was undefeated in MMA? The guy who is like a two-time NCAA wrestling champion from college or something like that. That guy is a reject. If he just left WWE, you'd have a point. But he's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
He's been wrestling. He's been fighting. Yeah, he's not a reject. And the way they brought him in showed he's not a reject.
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
So
I don't know. Like, I don't see anybody outside of, I mean, I would love to see a Seth Rollins Kenny Omega match. Mm-hmm. And more, I would love to see what the two of them could do in an AEW ring. I would even love to see what the two of them could do in either a Ring of Honor or a New Japan ring. Because I can see that it'll be the same type of moves.
Yep.
But it'll be different in each organization. Like Ring of Honor will be a quick match. Relatively quick match. 30 minutes at max. WWE will be 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. New Japan will be a 47-minute match.
Yep.
AEW is, for me right now, that's my toss-up. What kind of match is this going? How long would this be going?
I think they could get a longer match out of them there. It'll be interesting to see it with that, but you know what I would love to see? I know it's not going to happen anytime soon, if it happens at all, because Roman just signed a new 5-year deal with WWE.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see if something enough happened in WWE where it pissed Seth off and Roman off to the point, even this Becky's with him, Becky off as well, where they literally left. And they get picked up with AEW, and we actually could do a Shield reunion in AEW. Not call them the Shield, not do the Shield gimmick. They're just who they are. They're
but
friends.
You don't know why they're here.
No, not that. But they don't do the whole fist. Maybe the first time they come together, you do the fist thing in the middle in the ring. That's it. You never do it again. It's more of an acknowledgement. It's kind of like Finn and AJ after the match. They did a quick 2-sweet as a acknowledgement.
Yeah.
But that's it. You do the thing you do it because everyone wants to see it because you know who they are. You know what they did in WWE. You give the fans that, and you never have to give them it again. And you can still have them as a faction, but you don't call them the Shield. You don't act like the Shield. They don't come through the fans like the Shield. They're just their new character, their actual characters themselves in a new company. You know who they are, and that's enough.
Okay, that would be cool.
And then you have Becky come in and just destroy the women's division and just shows how dominant she really is. Would be awesome.
I mean, at the same time, I would also like for AEW to have signed Tessa Blanchard by that point as well. Mm-hmm. And we get a Becky versus Tessa match, the man versus the man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I'm actually to the point where I've been kind of paying enough attention to Impact a little bit, and that going through their house shows. I almost bought Bound for Glory back when it happened, but I was like, yeah, I haven't been paying enough. I'm not paying $50 for a pay-per-view and all that I've not paid attention enough to. I may try to start watching them here and there, or catching a match or two from their TV. And then when their next pay-per-view comes out in January, if I probably not buy it, but try to catch it later.
Yeah.
But like, I'm kind of getting like that Impact vibe. Like I kind of want to start paying attention to them a little bit more. Which that's the thing with this whole. Before we gotta move on because we do have a few other things and we still have Full Gear to go.
What are you talking about? We can keep talking about this. This is cool. This is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But the one thing I would love to see that people, if WWE does start releasing people, obviously not the names of the people who we would like to see them let go, but just some people. Some of these names I'd love to see go to Impact and say, I need to rebrand myself. You guys are the perfect brand for me. I'm not coming in. I'm coming in. Yes, but I'm going to be recognizable. But I'm not coming in and saying you put me in the world title picture. Put me in the X Division and let me work my way up and prove who I can be. And use Impact like that. One thing I would love to see happen, and it won't happen, but I'd love to see happen is AEW and Impact kind of join forces a little bit.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I mean,
that would be cool.
They're in the same market of North America and they're fighting over talent and everything. But say, hey, like, look, we won't approach your talent while they're under contract. If they come to us once their contract is officially expired, we will talk to them. But they have to come to us.
Mm-hmm.
We expect you to do the same thing for us. If it's like someone who's a lesser named talent who wants to kind of build themselves up a little bit more, maybe as a main eventer, when they leave, if they leave here, we expect to ask you to do the same thing for us.
Yeah.
Like when Tessa Blanchard's contract comes up, she's like, I'm not re-signing. When her contract officially is done and she says, she goes to AEW and saying, I want to come in, then they will actually talk to her. They won't approach her ahead of time. They won't. But if they have that working deal, she can come over to AEW and they can have like Rio or Britt Baker go over to Impact.
See, that would be cool.
Or something like that. That would be kind of a nice little working relationship within the same country, but at different levels, because that would help Impact out, but that would also give AEW access to far more talent that they can bring in on occasion, the bigger names, to do like a storyline, and then off they go.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'll happen, but I do hope that people, if WWE does release people, that the Impact will pick a few of them up and let them actually prove themselves there. All right, what's next on the docket?
Okay, we've got next up. Oh, it's our wrestling 4-star savior sellout. The man who has been chanted at every WWE show for the past, I don't know,
5 years?
5 years? 6 years?
He's been
It's CM Punk. He's back on WWE TV.
Okay, hold on. Pause it right there. So I've been seeing this on the news lately. Who is this CM Punk guy, and why is he such a big deal? I don't know. I don't know who he is. The fans are reacting weird. I don't understand. I can't go. I can't keep going.
But yeah, he's okay. So my reaction to this is, okay, cool. How long before he says something that's going to piss Vince McMahon off?
Yes.
Because he's not a WWE employee. He is a Fox Sports employee who is on a program whose main focus is WWE.
Yes. See, that's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize. Because they see WWE backstage. They like everything else WWE's done in the past. When you use WWE, it's a owned, operated, produced, shot, edited by WWE.
Right.
That is not WWE Backstage. WWE Backstage is a Fox show focused on WWE because Fox Sports 1 show that's owned by them focusing on WWE because WWE is on Fox. So, and because of that, while they're using a lot of people who are under contract with WWE, CM Punk is actually employed by Fox Sports 1.
Right.
So, and people gotta realize that he is, well, yes, you could say he, by just doing anything with WWE, he sold out. Well, how old is he? He's in his 40s. I would say, if I'm getting paid enough, why wouldn't I? And actually, Punk has gone on record what they pitched to him about this show and why he was even interested in doing this.
Yeah.
So I don't know any of the names, so I'm not even gonna try to name names.
Okay.
Basically, they pitched him like for our talk show, wrapping up baseball, we have so and so as the expert of the sport who's actually competed in baseball, who's a baseball player. For football, we have a football guy.
Yeah.
Like, so you are our wrestling expert. We're not bringing you in to be the character. We're bringing you in as the expert person who was once in the ring. You know everything. You are the expert in the room.
Basically, they went, hey, you're Phil Brooks. You're not CM Punk.
They're going to call him CM Punk because that's what people knew him as. But
Right.
Yes.
But we want Phil Brooks to be talking about wrestling. You'll be under the stage name again of CM Punk because that you own that. But like,
and that's what WWE fans know you as.
Right.
But that's the thing people got, and I think that's a great. When I heard him say that, I don't know if it was an actual. I think it was an actual interview I read. Maybe it was a audio clip. But when I saw that, I was like, no, I like that. That actually works for me. Because I didn't want him to go back to WWE. I wanted to go to work with AEW. Not even as a wrestler, just working with them. But when I hear that Fox wants to use me in that mind frame, I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But you're right. When does Phil say something that Vince McMahon doesn't want said and says, get him off, find him, bring him in my office, I want to talk to him. And they say, we can call him up and ask him, but he doesn't work for us. And Vince is like, what do you mean he doesn't work for us? That's a WWE show. Like, no, Vince.
No,
that's a Fox Sports 1 show.
Fox owns that one.
Yeah, we don't produce that. That's Fox.
You got to take it up with the network.
Give Fox Sports 1 on the line. Like, no, we actually like that because what he said brought in more ratings, so we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's going to just reinforce in Vince's mind, though. This is why I own everything, enforce everything, because then people can't have to do what I tell them to do.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I mean, he's not wrong, but at the same time, if you want to be taken legitimate, you need outside voices who can do that.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone
I would love
else
to...
on that show can't do that because they're under a WWE contract.
Yeah, I would love to see more. I would love to see this backstage program become more of, because I know it's kind of done by the mindset of the pre-show for WWE is kind of what Fox Sports, every sports group does regarding the major game that week that they're broadcasting. Yeah. There's a secondary team that goes, oh no, we've got the halftime, we've got just before the kickoff, and we get after the game. But our job is to be, this setup is the journalist that's been covering this sport forever, the former player, and it's weird too because that third person is usually like the not expert, but they're also like they've just been calling sports for so long.
It's kind of like a commentator in a sense.
The commentary, the presenter.
Yeah. Like, so if I had to look, based on, because I have no clue who's actually on the roster outside of Renee Young. I know Booker T is basically, was a fill-in. He
Yep.
was never supposed to be permanent. That was basically going to be CM Punk, who will be replacing him at some point, I guess. So Renee would be the journalist. And she actually has been with the WWE long enough where she fits that role perfectly. Punk fits the role as the expert.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'd love to see come in as the they would have to get in to sign him. But you know who'd be a good commentator type colorist or like presenter?
Yeah.
They could possibly get him to come in, Morano from NXT, but I don't think he would do it.
No.
But Joey Ryan.
I'm sorry. The wrestler Joey Ryan?
No. Joey Ryan, the former WWE commentator, former ECW commentator.
You mean Joey Styles?
Oh, Joey Styles. That's what I was like.
I was like,
yes, Joey Ryan.
the man who's dick flipping everybody?
Yeah.
See, I kind of like the setup. If they bring, it would be awesome for them to have Sam Roberts on there as well.
That'd be another one. But I
mean,
think
I'm not a huge fan of him being. I would actually love for them to start like reaching out. Fox Sports is like, okay, you know what? We're gonna start bringing in these outside wrestling journalists. These guys with the podcasts.
First person, Dave Meltzer.
Exactly. I would love for a moment of CM Punk and Dave Meltzer sitting on that panel at one point and being like, "Look, I would I would love for them to both have that moment of pure honesty and being like, look, we love this sport, and purposely call it a sport. Still, we love this sport, but this." I cannot in good conscience ever say that WWE has a good product right now. They have all the pieces to make the greatest product on the planet, but they haven't found the key to make it happen yet.
Yes. So that will never happen on WWE Backstage, by the way.
I know,
but I do agree.
But it will probably honestly, Renee Young is a great is their host. She is definitely, she always has that I'm the lead on this program.
But that her spot on Backstage is the perfect spot for her. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that they put her on commentary at one point. It was great to finally break that and have a woman on the actual team of commentary. But WWE had no clue how to use her.
No. I feel that that was because she has in these other environments always been the lead.
Yep.
Seeing her suddenly thrown all the way down to the third person in commentary, which is already for me the special guest spot.
Yep.
And it's weekly commentary. Yeah, of course she's not going to be used well. No one is at that point.
But not just that though. I feel like WWE feel like they once she filled in for it and got a good review, WWE had no choice but to give her that spot because they felt like there was such a backlash. Like, oh wait, a woman isn't. They never had a woman commentator before, and they're like, oh, we can get a headline out of this by making her a commentary and breaking the record, like first woman commentator.
Yeah,
but like everything with the women, once they got that headline, they don't give a fuck. And Vince McMahon really didn't give a shit about her being on commentary, and basically showed it by having, what's his name?
Corey Graves.
Yes, like
shit
yell
all
at her
over her commentary every single week as often as he could.
Yep. So And I don't think we ever really got a good chance to see how well she could do at commentary because of it. But I do feel like this backstage element is far better in her place.
I actually enjoy. So it's weird. WWE has had these great programs that are not wrestling. Like, the actual wrestling program itself fails over and over again, but they have these other programs that are great segments. I don't know what it is. It's like they're a wrestling show that Vince wants so badly to not be wrestling.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I can't, I have to kill it. And you're like, well, you have to completely change the show's format, and then everyone that works for you has to quit. And they're like, I can't have that happen.
So it'll be interesting to see how this WWE backstage affects Renee's career, because we all know her husband, Jon Moxley, is out of the WWE now.
I'm sorry, what? They're married?
A few years ago, there was talks of ESPN making a power play for Renee because they loved her.
Yep.
Clearly, nothing came of that. But now that she's actually getting into more of a sports type program that you would actually see on ESPN.
Oh yeah.
It would be interesting to see if they actually, like, when her contract's up, if ESPN or other sports related programs.
What, like Fox Sports?
Yeah, man. Then she could still do WWE backstage, but she would be under them.
And then she would be able to do, college football, this show, that show, like NFL on Fox itself.
Here's an interesting fact, though. AEW is possibly working on another show on TBS.
Oh.
Like WWE Backstage. It would be a review show.
Actually, that would be that would actually solve one of your gripes about AEW right now. They would have a review show that could catch people up on storyline.
Yes. We had a 45-minute discussion about that before we got on.
Discussion
just involving.
Man, I was about to Sean Spears you with a steel chair. You were gonna look like Cody.
Well, dude, my face is the money maker, unlike yours.
Oh, that's right. I am more mankind over here than you will ever know.
Burn.
I really don't think it's a burn, but okay.
No. But no, it's one of those things that will be interesting. So if she did leave WWE when her contract's up and she decided she wanted to stick with wrestling, if AEW did do this program, she basically got all of her training from WWE, where she could come over and do AEW and do it how she wants to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Fox they're developing the program backstage how they want it done, but they're taking feedback from WWE, but also from the people who are running it as well, who are the hosts. If they're smart, they would be. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But it'll be look, we all wanted CM Punk to come back to wrestling. Yes. We wanted it in a wrestling ring. We're not getting that.
Oh, that also reminds me. The day after, in comment sections, the amount of people who were like, oh yeah, it's confirmed now, CM Punk at Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. And I'm like, do you guys not know who's producing? Okay, actually, this is hilarious. I want to see how far this rabbit hole goes.
Well, I mean, can you blame those fans, though? Because we already said it on this.
Oh yeah.
Backstage.
I can understand, in jest, the way that I look at those, it's as long as you're not too serious about it. You're basically using the hashtag, CM Punk signed makes an appearance on WWE Backstage. Hashtag AEW confirmed. Like, that's the way I look at anybody saying that CM Punk's getting back in the ring for WWE. I'm like, no, he's not. He's on a WWE. He's on a show about WWE.
Yeah. But I can't blame WWE fans who think he's signed with WWE again, because until recently, they've never had a show that was not owned and operated by WWE.
Right.
And the fact that the show that he's appearing on, everyone else on television currently is under a WWE contract, so it's understandable. But
I would like to see them, expand a little bit more. Actually, here's the best. If they move that show to a 3 to 5 person panel, and the 5 people, that's your seat 4s and 5s can be rotating. But like, for me, the perfect 3 person panel is Renee Young, CM Punk, and then the 4th one, a Sam Roberts type character. No, actually, I would love for it to be, that's the historian. That is a person that has like a Dave Meltzer level knowledge of pro wrestling, who's like, yeah, I've seen all of these matches.
No. I have a better one. I mean, I do like that one, but I can see someone else filling a different spot. The outsider, the fan.
Oh.
Because I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he's a guy who he's usually on the pre-show of WWE events. He has a contract with WWE, but he only does those small events. He does other commentary. He actually just signed with the XFL to do commentary. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He almost quit with WWE over WrestleMania weekend. I just can't think of his name.
Oh wow!
Let me find him really quickly.
Okay.
I'll keep talking as I'm doing this, but he would be the perfect person because he's an outsider, but he's a fan, so he knows wrestling. But that will be I think it would be a great little thing, because you have a fan, but he's also understands sports as well.
Yeah, that would be really cool too. So I do love the clip that's out there right now of Renee Young starting to say, "Hey, we're gonna have one more new person join the team here," and CM Punk's music hits. Cult of Personality starts playing, and you hear Renee Young just like totally. I think at that moment, like, Renee Young the professional broke for a second, and Renee Young the person happened, and because in the reflection of the wall, you can see her turn around. Like, it's not a good one, but you can clearly see someone turned around. And I can only assume it's her because you hear her over the mic go, "Is this a rib?" And like start to chuckle. And I'm like, I can understand being on that kind of show and not knowing, where the production is going to go with stuff. That being a rib. I mean, like, we got you. It's actually this guy or this person. But then Punk comes out.
I found the name. It's
Who?
Pat McPhee.
Oh, okay.
He's actually doing commentary for XFL when it launches. But he would actually be the perfect person because he's a fan. He has outside knowledge of other sports in general. So you can have that substitute who has an outside opinion, a different look at WWE on there as well. So you have the host, you have the professional, the expert, and then you have the fan-sports athlete. And that'd be a great third person. One thing I'd love to see them start doing is change out your pre-show panel show to WWE Backstage.
Yes.
It's not done in the arena. It's done at the backstage set. And you're cutting to them, and you cut back into the arena.
Yeah.
And that's how you do, and you can build that up that way, because that would be a great way to intersplice your WWE Backstage into normal WWE stuff beyond one show.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then that's when you could have that like 4 or 5 person panel. You have your 3 normal people, and then you have 2 other people come in as guests throughout. Like one other permanent person for a 4-person panel, and then you have your guest every spot or something like that who can come in and. So for that I think would be really great because it would get the pre-show out of Vince's hands.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Fox who wants to push it because they own They have SmackDown on there. So you had that outsider looking in mentality of Vince can't tell them what to say, so they can really build up on their own way.
Right.
But it's still supporting WWE.
Well, okay. So this is one thing that I've noticed lately, that the pre-show is not, the message is not always totally controlled by Vince. Like they're given their talking points and all that stuff, but it's not overly polished and controlled. And then you get to the show itself and you're like, oh, and there's the overly polished and under the thumb of Vince.
Well, it's because Vince doesn't care about the pre-show.
But it's one of those that, like, you see someone, their ability to talk comes out better on that panel, or worse on that panel, than when they do a promo later, or on Raw, or some other time.
The person who I'm thinking of as you said that, and it's actually the opposite of what you're saying for this.
Yeah.
When he would cut a promo in the ring, it's excellent.
Yes.
But on this, went back in his heyday when he was wrestling. He's not wrestling anymore. I wonder if you can figure out who I'm talking about. He's a good friend of Triple H. But on that panel when he talks, he's horrible.
He's all over the place.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Oh, Mr. Michaels. Yes.
Yes. He's horrible.
I don't know if it's more the fact that...
How does he do that? How can he be that bad? But when he was in the ring cutting a promo, he was amazing. Because he was not a person who cut scripted promos.
No. See, I don't... I think it's one of those that he's a person that... on the mic, cutting a promo is a character for him.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels sitting down talking with you about the show that's coming up, that's where Shawn Michaels actually is totally Shawn, which at this point is, well, a little bit old.
Old and rambly.
Maybe he likes to talk a lot, okay?
Not just talks a lot, like he has like ums and like and like tries to start a story but then cuts himself off and starts goes in a different direction. Which is natural. I do that same thing myself. You can see it on this program. But, oh my God, it's just like, there's a night and day difference between the Shawn Michaels character cutting a promo, a backstage segment, and then Shawn on a panel where he's just like...
He may not be a quick thinker either. He may not be able to just right off the bat, like at the drop of a dime, just be like, oh, and it's this. Oh, and it's this. I'm going to talk about this for a moment. It could be he just naturally spent a while backstage being like, okay, I know on Monday I'm going to be cutting a promo on so-and-so. I'm just going to cut that promo every day until I do it.
I think you may be onto something about that, but I don't think that's what it is.
Okay.
I think his thoughts are similar to my thoughts, where my brain is processing so fast through what I want to say and what I'm doing, especially a lot even with my writing, that I mumble. I lose track of where I was because I was so far ahead of what my mouth could actually say.
You mumble?
But even when I write, like I go back through my writing and I thought I got everything, and I missing words because my fingers can't type fast enough, and it skips words to get to the word a word. It's. Yep. So I think you're on the right frame, but I think his mind moves so fast. But when he's cutting a promo in the ring, he only has that one thing to focus on.
Right.
That's it. Like, we're in a panel, though, he's on, you have a topic, but it's multiple things. So he's
Right.
like, you don't know, you got to respond to the question, and it's not, and you got to work off that, but then you're into a different topic, and it's just like, and if you look at those panels at times, there's like 5 or 6 minutes between before he comes back to talk, so he could have thought through 6 different things, and that's one of the reasons why he's
like, I wanted to respond about that thing over there and this thing over here, and holy crap, something awesome just happened over there, and all right.
He's trying to commentate on all of it at once, and he kind of, so it's possible, but yes.
Yeah, good luck. I really want good luck, CM Punk. They said that he's going to be sporadic on the show, not going to be a regular right now, but I have a feeling that they're like that. This is purely we're going to see how well this works for both sides right away.
Yeah.
Like, is Fox going to see a bonus?
Well, he's a busy guy, so I'm sure, like, when he tried out and he got it, he's like, look, I have these other things scheduled, so I can work sporadically for right now, but in the future, if you really like it, we can move it to, once we get past a certain time frame, I can be a regular.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But, yeah, I mean, hey, he did what he had to do. If he does end up back in a WWE ring as a wrestler, I want it for one match. I want it to be in the main event of WrestleMania, and he can retire as he should, finally getting a main eventing WrestleMania, closing out the show, and then officially put his wrestling career behind him. If that happens. If he does, we don't get it, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, whatever.
I've always said, CM Punk confirmed. Like, wrestling again, yes, I've always wanted it. But I knew the chance of it happening was very slim, so I'm like, I don't build anything on it.
Right.
So we'll see, but only time will tell.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, before we move on to the next thing, there's something I just popped in my head today that I didn't bring up to you, but I want to talk about briefly. We have to get to Full Gear really quickly.
What?
You remember that John, Mr. Impact himself?
Johnny Impact?
Yes, Johnny Impact. Apparently re-signed with WWE. Then his wife refuted that.
Yeah.
Where is he? I just realized that today. Like, he hasn't. If he's signed with WWE, they're really holding off on him.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that he very recently put up pictures of himself and AEW guys who he's friends with, Luchasaurus.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was Luchasaurus or somebody else. But it's just like he's just hanging out with people.
Yeah. So I just thought about that today and was like, wait, didn't he sign? Wait, we had the draft a while ago. He didn't get drafted. So was that actually true? I'm like,
remember, we do have that story of somebody who was recently signed to WWE at $500,000 a year and not being used. They could just be like, hey, Johnny, here's a whole bunch of money. Just stay in shape. And if we ever decide to use you, we'll give you a call.
that could be, but I don't think he would do. He may do that, but like, I think if they really if they're gonna sign them, they want to use them. But we gotta remember this. This was the same company back when Christian returned to WWE. He was supposed to be the guy who took out like Jeff Hardy and all that before they decided to go to Matt because it got spoiled that it was supposed to be Christian. And they literally held on to Christian for months after he re-signed when he was supposed to come out because Vince didn't like that the story got spoiled and did something different with him. So this could be Vince going like, oh, we got him back? Oh, people know about it? We're going to hold on to him.
Hang on to him. Will you bring him out later?
Royal Rumble will bring him out.
Oh, okay. That I can actually see.
I do too. I can understand that too.
He comes out at number 30.
But it'll be interesting to see if he actually does show up. But like, that popped in my head today. And like, wow, we need to talk about this for a brief second because that was interesting, and I can't believe I forgot about that. And that's what I think they kind of want. If he's actually signed, I think they want us to forget that he was signed and then bring him out of nowhere. Do that surprise return, which I'm okay with if they actually do it correctly. And if you put him on Raw, I think Paul Heyman will use him correctly.
Okay.
For the return. I can't say after that, but at least the return, I think they'll bring him back well. I do want to see if he does return with WWE. I do want to see the best tag team in the world of Miz and Morrison return at some point. But, okay, what's left on the docket before we get to Full Gear?
Okay, we're going to have to go through this really quickly then, the next couple of items. One that I just remembered completely, the Steve Austin show that's going to be on the WWE Network. Undertaker is like the first interview.
I saw that, and I forgot about that because, well, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. As cruel as he is and everything, the guy's doing so much shit these days. The fact that he's adding one more thing to his schedule, and it's actually with WWE, it's forgettable not because it's one more. He's a formidable guy. It's just like he's doing so much shit. It's like he's doing that. Oh, he's doing this over here and that over there. So, speaking of things people probably forgot about, Randy Couture sent a message out to Jon Moxley about being on the fight, the MMA fighter, what is that MMA movie he's in? I can't even think of it at the moment.
Oh, I forgot.
But the whole cast sent out "We're rooting for you, brother." Which I was like, that was cool because I kind of forgot that he was doing that movie, and the fact that Christian, former WWE superstar, is actually the one producing that film.
Oh yeah,
it was awesome. So like, I thought that was kind of cool. But all right, what else do we have?
Next up, AEW is still beating NXT in the ratings war. We're on week 7.
Okay, before we go to anything else, I just have to say something, comment on something. I loved how the thing that you wanted to focus on for this episode is this right here, and we don't have the time to really focus on it because we focus on the first two things to absolutely like almost like 30 minutes each.
Yeah, someone got a little long-winded. Somebody went off topic for a while.
Right. We've never done that before.
Nope. No, you have never done that before, Tim. Never, ever, ever.
Hey, I know I go off topic on times, but you should talk. You do it too.
All right. So yes, NXT actually has been taking one little weird demographic win every single week, and that's the 50+ bracket.
Which is interesting, but before we even talk about that, what were the extra ratings? How much did NXT lose to AEW? Because last week it was close. I mean, I'm sure they only beat them barely this week.
Well, like, what was it? Last week it was AEW was right around the 850,000, and NXT was somewhere around the 700 and what? 90,000. It was like just under 800,000, and
I think they were actually in 800,000, but like the very low end of 800,000. It was close.
All right,
it was really close.
Well, sadly though, NXT again lost viewers, dropped down to 750,000. And AEW almost broke 1 million.
Which makes sense if you think about it. AEW is coming off a pay-per-view. So this is the first show since the pay-per-view. Those always get a bump. WWE pay-per-views always get a bump. So it's natural that AEW get a bump. But if you think about it, NXT makes sense of dropping even lower in ratings this week is because people know, because it was well established that Raw and SmackDown were pre-recorded a week ago because they're over in England.
Yeah.
A small European tour right now. And so there's no real chance to do an invasion angle this week So the people who turned in to really see who was going to show up, there's no real reason to show up to see if main roster stars are going to show up because they're most of them are over in Europe. We did get one name who showed up.
And who was that?
And that was Bailey. And she
Bailey,
took out
okay.
a lot of people in the back. And they actually had to fly her over from Europe to make this appearance on Wednesday. And I think she went back to Europe, too. I'm not sure about that one. But they had to fly her personally so she could be here in Orlando for that show. So it makes sense that be people who turned in to see which main roster stars would show up on NXT for an invasion. They can't, so the ratings are going to go down. Now, we'll get back to that 50 plus rating demographic in a second. Wrestle Talk had an interesting comment on some statistics here that they've picked up.
Yeah.
They noticed that when the people who watch NXT during commercial breaks, they are unlikely to turn the channel to watch AEW during the commercial break. They do not turn the channel.
Huh.
Or, however, those who are watching AEW Dynamite will turn the channel to watch NXT.
That's odd.
But when you think about it, the people who are WWE loyalists and only WWE, who hate it when people bash WWE and get really offended that we're pointing out the flaws of their beloved show, makes sense. They only watch, the people who are left of watching WWE, they don't go and watch the indies. They don't watch Ring of Honor. They don't watch Impact. They don't watch New Japan. So it makes sense. The people who do watch AEW were probably big fans of NXT too, because NXT is the WWE's version of the indies.
Right.
So they want that. They primarily watch AEW because they want to support that wrestling company, but it's a commercial. They want to watch. They're like me. Heck, I said I was done with WWE for a long time. When I'm at the gym, I'm on the bike or I'm on the treadmill, watching the TV, and on a Wednesday night, I flip back and forth because I hate fucking commercials. Except for AEW, when they have the picture within the picture, I still watch I stay with AEW. When it's an absolutely commercial, I switch channels. I hate commercials.
I totally understand. Sorry, I was just quickly looking over the cast and crew of the Cage Fighter.
Mm-hmm. That's the name.
And I knew that, Jon Moxley's real name was Jonathan Good. Did you realize that he has a full-on IMDb page with 61 credits to his name?
Let me guess. Most of them are WWE.
Oh, all of them are wrestling. There's a bunch from CZW. Most of them are WWE. And then the last one being AEW Dynamite, and then then the Cage Fighter. But what I was looking over the Cage Fighter's cast and crew, and did you take a quick gander at what Christian's real name is?
I do know his real name, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
And for me, it's one that I look at and just go, huh. I would never call him that in any manner.
Yep. What is it again?
Jay Rezzo.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, what?
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not looking at this guy and going, hey, Jay. And being like, haha, see, I know enough about you, which now just comes across. If I use that name around him, it's just going to come across as creepy.
Yeah.
Unless I actually get to know him, then be like, do you mind if I call you by your real name instead? Or are you, because Christian, he's probably so used to being called Christian at this point.
Oh, I'm sure. Same with Adam.
Yes.
Adam Edge is his real name is Adam. And if you
as a fellow Adam,
His real name's Adam. If you actually watch his DVD that WWE put out a few years ago, he even says in there, "I've never been this guy who introduced himself as his character. He's always says, I'm Adam."
Well, yeah. As a fellow Adam, I would walk up to him and be like, "Hey, as a fellow Adam, I'd like to greet you as an Adam. Hi, Adam."
You see the funny thing? I find that funny because you're like super loyal to Adams. It's one of the reasons why you have this undying loyalty to Adam Page.
We have a weird thing. Us Adams in general, if we either immediately go, "You're a brother, brother Adam," or you're like, "Oh, fuck you, Adam. Fuck you. You are not. You take that name and you go. You're an AJ from now on." You're like, "My middle name's not even starting with a J." Yeah, you're an AJ.
Yeah. Whereas like I've never met a Tim who's like, "Oh, because you're a Tim, I'm gonna back you." I hate the name Tim.
No. Like
The
it
only
really
thing
doesn't
that's
work
kinda-
that well with other. Well, except for Dave's. Dave is another one that they just accept each other. Dave.
I think
Dave.
John's another one.
Yep.
But the John we're talking about is the JOHN John who do
Right.
it. A JON John, they hate each other.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's like the H is like, get the fuck out. You're the H. You're John. You get the fuck out of here. And then John's the JON. They hate the John. Absolutely despise the John with an H in it.
Yeah.
So it's funny because, like, yeah, I've never met anyone. Like, when I feel another Tim, I'm just like, oh god, it's another one. And that's because I had two other Tims in elementary school in my class multiple times, and it sucked.
Yeah.
And it really sucked was one of those the Tims. Our last names were the same, almost the same. His was Greeley, and my name was Green.
Ah.
So I've never met that, and the only Tim I'm okay with, it's kind of growing on me now because I've actually heard it. I keep hearing it more and more recently for some reason. Never until just the last 2 or 3 years have I really heard it. Is the Grand Powerful Wizard? You should call him Tim.
Yes. No. By the way, you said it wrong. It's done with a question. Tim?
Okay. And then I'm really okay with it now because of today. I literally watched an episode. I can't remember what it's called. I just saw a thumbnail pop up in YouTube that had Gordon Levitt in the picture from Magic: The Gathering. So of course I'm gonna watch it. It's about a year ago, but he's actually pulls out all of his old Magic cards for this thing, and watching it. And he actually plays a round of Magic with the host using his old cards, and he's using as he would call the Tim deck because they always refer to the. I can't remember the card name. That this all-power sorcerer in the card, and you just refer him the Tim. So like now that I've watched that today, I'm just like I'm really okay with that part of it. But if I meet anyone else named Tim, it's like nope, I'm done. Go away, get out of here. All right, what else do we have on the docket?
Luchasaurus is back from his injury. Oh, and Christopher Daniels is back from injury as well.
Yes. He showed up at over at the Full Gear.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
While wearing, once again, that whole "I'm a masked wrestler," and that dude just came into the ring wearing my same getup. We're gonna do the mirror thing for a second. It's like honestly, it's a trope of pro wrestling, though. Like,
yes, it is.
But yeah, now it's on to Full Gear.
But if you know Christopher Daniels' history with Max, it makes even more sense that he would do it, though.
Oh, it totally does. Like when he pulls it off over his eye, he has the Ankh again, and I was like, all right, it's the fallen angel.
So it's so funny, but like, yes, he's back, which is great. there. But hey, Adam, I don't think we're gonna have time to go over Full Gear
Yes, we will. Let's go over Full Gear.
in
I mean,
10
this
minutes.
is literally the last thing to go over.
Okay, because I was gonna actually recommend we do a separate recording really quickly over Full Gear and just do it as a bonus thing.
Nope.
But
We got this.
if you think we have enough time,
Let me get the card pulled up. Actually, if you could go ahead and pull that card right up.
we can do that. Come on, there we go.
Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang, boom. Bringing it up as we speak. If my phone would move a little faster. All right, I've got it. So I did miss the buy-in. Sorry about that.
Wait. So you pulled it up, and you told me to pull it up. Why do I need to pull it up if you got it? You're so ridiculous. It's like your face.
Because, like, I was hoping that you would bring up the one from that we have our predictions on.
Oh, that's what you meant by pulling it up. I actually just went to Wrestling Inc. because I was already had a bunch of
crying
pages
out
up.
loud. Could you bring up our predictions?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
You didn't say like I had like 5 pages of Wrestling Inc. So it was like, oh, I click here, go back to the main page. I click the link of Full Gear card, and it pops up. So like I had no clue like what you were expecting me to pull up. Hold on. Start talking about it.
I'm gonna name the title of this episode "Full Gear in 10 Minutes or Less." Well, it's an hour and a half long video.
So we're gonna steal Wrestle Talk stuff. Okay, I'm
Exactly.
down with that.
All right. So the show did kick off in the pre-show with the Dr. Britt Baker defeating B. Priestley by submission. All right.
I am so glad that I did go with Britt Baker because I was definitely thinking about B. Priestley, but B. Priestley is still, they've used her sparingly here and there. They do clearly want to push her hard. They really do.
Right.
You can tell. But not as hard as they want to push Britt Baker. But, I mean, up until recently, B. Priestley has not been free to really work because she's been working with Stardom. She was their top champion. She just dropped the belt finally. So
okay.
That makes sense. We both got that one right.
Yay! All right. Now to kick off the show was a crazy tag team match. We've got the Proud and Powerful defeating the Young Bucks.
Wait. You mean PP?
Yeah, PP defeated the YB.
Which we both got right, though we put it down as SAO because I'm not putting PNP down.
Santana and Ortiz, come on. You could just leave it. PP.
Just call
I don't
want to
write PP over and over again.
Or just call them Inner Circle because they're part of there's a tag team of the Inner Circle. It makes sense. Okay, before we move on, because I just have to say this really quickly. You literally have an undefeated tag team in the Inner Circle. But this past week on Dynamite, your NXT, your AEW champion, and the guy who has yet to win a match, period, Sammy Guevara, get a tag team title match.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Especially when you're so focused on saying win-loss matters. Yes, I understand with Jericho, but that's in the singles. He was undefeated until this past Wednesday in all matches. But it doesn't mean he should be getting a tag team title match. You had undefeated tag team already. But that's for another day. I'll save it because I have more to say on that. But we got to get through this card.
All right. Damn, that was actually a really fun match.
But too late on super kicks. There was like total of 6 total.
Yeah, but I like how the way the dynamics of the match worked, where technically wrestling wise, SAO was was working from a face standpoint. They stayed to the rules. They never once tried to do anything underhanded until after the bell rang. But from bell to bell, they were wrestling as if they were the faces, and the Young Bucks wrestled as if they were desperate heels. They were trying.
I agree with you on that, but I'm also gonna push back a little bit very quickly.
Okay.
Because while they did that in the ring, they also constantly had a back and forth with Rock and Roll Express at ringside.
Right.
So, and by the way, for old guys as Rock and Roll Express, outside the little flip over the top rope issue, which I had, I think it was Matt who had a flip. I can't think of his name. Leg over so he could actually get because it just got stuck for a second. That was an awesome. They were awesome. The fact that at their age he dove out of the fucking ring.
Yeah.
And it looked great. I was like, damn.
Oh, who was it? I think it was Cultaholic. No, not Cultaholic. It was. I think it was Russell Talk. Yeah, no. What Culture? Who was like, yeah, cocaine is one hell of a drug, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think there should have been more super kicks in this, just because it is a staple of the Young Bucks. But I do like that they know that they can have a great match and not rely on that move, because I still feel like the super kick was an awesome move, and so many people loved Shawn Michaels as a kid who are now wrestling. Use it as a normal move and kind of downplay it. I still wish there was at least a few more super kicks in this. But by the way, for the fans listening, it was this one that actually got Adam the championship. We tied in the predictions. We both got the no debut correctly. He predicted that there's no secondary title championship announcement or anything correct. I didn't think there was going to be either, but I just said for the safety, I said yes. But super kicks came down to, and he won it that way. But I don't even care about losing that. I just wish there was a few more super kicks throughout the entire match overall. But okay, let's pick it up to the next one.
All right, we got Adam Page defeating Pac. Clean.
I disagree with the booking of this one, but since but I'll give it this one. It was an awesome match. Adam Page has looked like he did not look that as good as he did in this match against Pac that he did against Jericho. He looked outclassed against Jericho. Like he was too pushed too high too quickly. Pac is in the world title contender, but because their styles mesh better, I think they work, I guess. But Adam Page did look good here. I don't necessarily agree with the booking, but it was still everything that happened in this match made sense. The finish worked off their last match very well.
All right. Cool. Next up, and this one I really did I skimmed through this match. Shawn Spears defeats Joey Janela. Honestly, skimmed the match.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do the same thing when I get to this one, just because I think this is where I actually am in the card. I want to watch the first two matches of the card.
Yep.
This is a last-minute matchup. I will pay attention to the post-match spike pile driver that happens. Because I actually want to see it, because I know Tony Khan said he sent out people to check on him just to be on the safe side right off the bat. But he is fine. I want to see how that comes off on TV.
Okay.
But I mean, if there's a little bit more time building to this matchup, I think it would have been more interested in watching it. But yeah.
Okay, next up we have SoCal SCU defeating the Lucha Brothers in Private Party. I didn't watch this one at all. I watched the show, but I did not this one. I full on went, I'm going to come back when I have the time to fully sit down and pay attention to this one. Yeah. So I completely skipped it, but I did see that SoCal Uncensored win. I didn't even look at the pin. I just saw the as I was skipping ahead, I suddenly saw Christopher Daniels in there, and I went, "Wait, what?" And I I hit rewind for a second, and I was like, "Oh, that's an interesting way of bringing Daniels back," and immediately putting him into a singles feud with Pentagon Jr.
Interesting. Up to this point in the card, you were one up on me.
Oh, nice.
Because you had picked Adam Page to win, and I had picked Pac to win.
Cool.
So
all
we
right,
both,
next
both
up,
picked SCU to retain.
Oh, yes, we did. Next up, we have Riho defeating Emi Sakura for the to retain the AEW Women's World Championship.
We both picked Rio to retain.
Mm-hmm.
We all figured this because it was the first. This was a very last minute matchup. You were mentioning to me beforehand that this was a slow and boring match.
Once again, I did not. This was not a. When I say skim it, I mean I put the speed up to like 1.5, almost a 2, and I basically watch it and fast forward, and it's 13 minutes long. But I even sped up, was just going, yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Nothing against Rio or anything like that. I think it's just, and even weirder is the fact that they've known each other and wrestled each other in the past, and I'm just like, I don't know what it is about their women's division right now, but it truly hasn't drawn me in yet.
Yeah. I mean, it has drawn what they did over the summer drew me in.
Oh, yeah.
It was all out that kind of pulled me out of it because the Rio and Hikaru Shida match was, like, from what you described it, slow. Because I want to get into this at another show about when they put someone bigger, well, regardless if they actually are, just because they weigh like 20, 30 more pounds than Rio. Those people seemingly feel like they have to do power moves versus their normal style of matchup.
Right.
And it slows it down, and it doesn't work because they're trying to get the underdog element for Rio. No, we don't need that. She is pop. She can move. Let her show what she can do. Let them do it, and give us the kind of match we would have seen in Japan between them. But we'll get back to that at another time, though.
All right. And Chris Jericho retains his AEW World Championship because MJF threw the towel in.
Yes. And this is where I caught up with you, where I had picked Chris Jericho to win. You had picked Cody to win. Not necessarily win the title, but win the match.
Yeah.
I think you forgot about the MJF storyline that they were obviously been building for the turn at some point. I actually think would have been great because this was a predictable. We didn't mention it last week, but predictable to do it. I would have saved this for like maybe the next pay-per-view because I think so many people were thinking this was going to happen here. But it was so kind of. I mean, when I read it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. They've been building that, so I kind of forgot it myself. So, which is why we didn't talk about it last week. Yeah. But this is where I caught back up to you, and the next matchup is where we basically continue to draw. Before we go on to that one, I just want to say this. Adam?
Yeah?
This is for the record books for you, but also just so our fans can hear it. We both got only one prediction wrong on this card.
Wow.
We were actually pretty good, dead on this, predicting this. And it wasn't necessarily easy. Like, WWE is easy to predict. Like, it's just going to be
totally.
this. But this one was like, every matchup is like, if they wanted to throw us a curve, I mean, outside the tag team and women's, every other matchup, it was like, they could throw us they could throw us for a loop here.
Of course.
They went with a more obvious route, but at the same time, there was obviously times where they could have been like, no, they could easily do something differently. But, But I'll let you pick it up to the next matchup here. We'll try to go through more of this in detail maybe next week if we have time.
Oh, totally. We're gonna
break down. Watch the entire show by then.
Yeah.
And we can really kind of dissect this, but we want to get a review of this really quickly. Okay, so last matchup.
And finally, after the lights were turned out, which actually the lights weren't fully turned out. Like they really just dimmed the lights twice and then brought the lights back up. Jon Moxley defeated Kenny Omega in an unsanctioned match.
I've heard about this matchup.
Watch it.
I love how you described it to me earlier. I can't wait to watch this match to see it for myself.
Okay,
I agree.
So
I do. Before you bring in your thoughts, I do at one point really want to dissect this matchup later, in detail, because there's a big thing that's saying, did they go too far? But that's all I'm going to say about it.
You haven't watched it, so you don't get to say if they've gone too far or not.
No. That's why I want to really dissect it later.
Yeah.
I have watched it. That's all I'm saying.
So my description of this was controlled brutality. It was in a working sense, the safest hardcore match I've ever watched. Like, at no point do I feel like either man has truly put his life on the line, but at the same time, they sell the crap out of every one of these quote-unquote career-threatening spots.
Which is what I want to dissect once we get after we watched it and we have more time. All
Right.
right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know down in the comments section what you thought of Full Gear if you watched it. If you haven't, will you go and watch it now? While you're at it, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. You've been listening to us for over an hour and a half. So go ahead and give us a thumbs up. You're clearly liking what you're listening to. While you're there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Yep.
Ding.
Oh, ding.
Ring that bell.
Sorry, what? Sorry, ding, ding?
Yes, and get bent.
Sorry,
Like
I was
Adam's
paying
attention.
attention. Look, I was paying attention to tomorrow's match, match card for New England Wrestling Alliance. They're slamming Saturday's show. They got a great triple threat match coming up. Non-title match for tag team. We also, there's a couple of other matches on there. Go ahead and check it out tomorrow, guys. Thanks. Bye.